Thanks for tuning in to the Charles Novell School of Music podcast, The Best Day Yet. Here you'll find tips, insight, and information to help your music and your ministry succeed. Whether you're a singer, a musician, or a songwriter, we want to help you where you are, but we also want to help you get to where you want to go. We believe that our talents are God's gift to us, but what we do with those are our gift back to God. Yesterday's information is important, but what we can learn today will make this the best day yet. Hey everybody, Rob Novell here with the CNS podcast, The Best Day Yet. Welcome back to, actually, this is a special episode today. We are celebrating a couple cool things today. And so in light of doing this, I called somebody near and dear to me, obviously, but to everybody that's part of the school. I called somebody this morning and said, hey, I've got this idea. Could you join me? And she absolutely said yes. She had to because she's my mom. Mom, could you say hey to everybody? Hey, we got Barbara Novell with us today.
Good morning, everybody.
Well, it's not morning.
Well, good afternoon.
It was morning when we talked, but it's no longer
still morning to me.
It's still morning to you. How are you and Lucy today?
Oh, we're doing fine.
So
little clean Lucy as usual.
So you all, if we get through this without hearing Lucy, it'll be a miracle. So
absolutely.
Lucy is mom's little 4-pound worth of everything.
That's for
Lucy
sure.
is mom's little dog, and I'm sure we will, like I said, hear Lucy at some point. But listen, this is not our normal Tuesday release of a podcast. This is something special today, and Mom, why are we doing this today? What's the special semblance of today?
Well, today is Daddy's 81st happy birthday, or heavenly happy birthday.
It is, isn't it? We woke
Yes,
this morning to knowing that this was his 81st birthday. And honestly, Mom, that was tough. I shared with you this morning a hard week, and it will be moving forward.
It always is.
And you know, so within 17 months, obviously we lost Dad, and then we lost Jeff.
Yes.
And this week, the 28th of August, 2 years ago, marks when Jeff fell and had his accident. And so that was Monday. And then I knew that Thursday was coming. And I just wanted this week. When I woke up on Monday this week, I just wanted this week to already be over. All week long, I'm like, is it Monday yet? Is it Monday yet? So I woke this morning, to knowing it was Dad's birthday, which, mixed emotions with that, right?
Yeah, I've already had my cry for the day. Well, at least the first one.
The first one. So mixed emotions, but at the same time, I wanted to do something special today to celebrate him. And I shared with you earlier, Mom, I woke a little sad, and then I checked my email, and we have our first registration for CNS 24. It came in today. Linda Wenzel registered today, and it was a little bit of way of saying happy birthday, Dad. And registration officially opens tomorrow, September the 1st, but I'm not sending hers back and telling her to wait till tomorrow. We're gonna make this happy birthday, birthday Dad gift. So since we talked, Mom, earlier, guess what?
What?
We've got our second registration.
You are kidding me.
No, for CNS
24. Isn't that just the way God works? He knew we needed something special today.
Absolutely. I was talking with Pastor John earlier, and I said, you know what? And I say this a lot, but I mean this a lot, or I wouldn't say it a lot. He knows, he sees, and he cares.
Yes, he does.
He has a way of, Isaiah says his ways and thoughts are higher than ours. Someone recently asked me, Mom, with the success of the school, we're seeing growth, and God is moving us into new directions, and that's exciting. And you know what? I just to honor him, I want to be a good steward of the position that I'm setting in. So we're seeing growth. And someone asked me the other day, they said, "Don't you wish your dad could see what's happening with the school right now?"
He can. He can. I
Absolutely.
believe.
I told him, I said, "Are you kidding me? He's still running the school. He just got his office moved to the penthouse floor. And
Exactly.
he just got
Exactly.
moved to the top row of offices." And because, Mom, what's happening with the school isn't anything I'm doing, you're doing, any of our staff are doing, any of our guests are doing. It's all collectively helping, but
Absolutely.
but it's God that's ordering our steps, and that's moving us forward. And so that's exciting. And I ran across something, Mom, earlier this week. Let me see if I still have it setting here. Hang on.
Okay.
Why I'm doing this, because I want to do this today. If there was one memory you wanted to share today, or just an in general um, thing about Dad, what would that be? Putting you on the spot, but there you go.
Well, you are, because there, I mean, we could do how many podcasts with me just sharing all the adjectives of my thoughts of your father. One memory. Oh gosh, Rob, that is hard. Um, I have to summarize everything that I feel about your father, and it started with why I fell in love with him was his heart. He has or had a heart, and he still has a heart as big as a house. He was a giver, not just monetarily, but of his time, of his talents, of his strength. If he knew that someone needed something and the task was too hard for him, he didn't have a problem rolling up his sleeves, coming along beside him, and saying, "Can I help you?" So it was his heart, Rob. His kind spirit, his gentle ways, the way he loved God, the way he loved his family. I know you asked for one, but I can't stop, so stop me. I'll stop there. But his heart is the biggest thing that I will always cherish,
Yeah.
and I will stop there.
No, Mom, I hear that a lot, and
Mhm.
you're right. Um, there's for
Can I
me,
inject one other thing? You may ask me
absolutely,
something along the way, and I could use this, but another thought
absolutely.
comes to my mind. I got a email. I attempted to put a message to him this morning, and Rob, you know my technical challenges with email and
Yeah,
and
because
media.
you're not even talking about email. It was Facebook that you had. See,
Facebook.
you
Okay,
don't
well
even know which.
there goes. I proved it. But anyway, I put a beautiful message out to him this morning, my expression of him, and somebody answered and said how well, several people answered and said how they were so blessed to have met him. And the song that came to my mind, I said, I do believe that the song, if I could help somebody as I pass along, then my living would not be in vain. I think whoever the author or composer of that song was had to have my husband, Charles Novell, your father, Charles Novell, in mind, because that was, he didn't say it was his motto, but that's what he lived.
Right.
He touched people as he passed along. He stopped. He always had a smile, a word of encouragement. And that song sums up who he was in life, not who he tried to be, but who he was. And I don't even think he knew that of himself. He just had that spirit and that heart of giving.
The other day, and I'm going to give you a little heads up because I put you on the spot once, so I'm not going to do that again.
Okay.
Born at night, but not last night. I know I shouldn't upset my mother. Um, here in just a few minutes, I'm going to ask you if there was one song you wanted to hear Dad play today. What would that song be? Don't answer me now, but I'm going to give you a
Okay.
chance to think about that, because I'm going to do the same thing at the end of what we're doing today. And
Okay.
you just gave me my song, and it'll be a little different twist. But just this past week, Mom, Larry Bartlett posted those lyrics on Facebook.
The same song that I just talked about?
Yeah, if
Wow.
I could help somebody. And I responded to him when Dad passed. Um, I had kind of stayed away from trying to play Dad stuff because I couldn't play it. I mean, I couldn't play it. I mean, Dad was in a whole category and league all by himself. And but I did that project and I titled it If I Could Help Somebody. And what I did 10 of Dad's arrangements on that that project. You remember the one I'm talking about?
I believe I do. Yes.
And I put that song on there. So when Larry shared that the other day, I shared that link because I did 10 of his arrangements on that project, but that ended up being my favorite. And I ended up naming the project that because that's how I envision my dad. And that's how I've taken all of the data and the input and the comments and the stories and the compliments that people have given me for all these 54 years about who my dad was to them. And
Mm-hmm.
when I brought that all in and mixed it all together and got an end result, it was that had to be the title of my project. So I'm going to share that later. Here's what I went to get. Can you see this?
J.D. Summers Performance Training,
1991.
1991.
So
Wow.
I found this tape.
That's a gem, Rob.
I found this tape this week and I was listening to it and I shared this on social media this week. I was listening to it, Mom, and it was so neat to hear Dad and JD interacting with each other
Oh,
on this tape. And I'll get you a copy of this. Because that's the connection that has us here on this podcast today. It was ultimately started with James Blackwood hiring Dad in 1962
right.
to teach at the Stamps Conservatory of Music. But it was 1962, the phone call from James to Dad, that Dad started teaching in the school, but JD owned the school. And
Yeah.
it was after that year that 77 we had the school, and then Elvis passed away. And the way that kind of shook JD to his core because of their involvement there,
Exactly.
that phone call that he made to Dad and said, Charles, I've somewhat lost the passion for the school, but you're the guy to carry this on. I remember, Mom, when Dad passed away and we had the viewing here in Georgia on the Tuesday night, I remember coming back to your house and I got a phone call from a 615 number. Didn't recognize the name, but I know 615 to be Nashville area code. So I answered it and it was Shirley Enoch, JD's daughter.
My
And
friend.
your friend. And we got to talking and she offered condolences. And I had put a post up that night about JD giving Dad the school. I put different posts up each night of that week because there were so many different sides to Dad that not everybody understood.
Right.
Some people knew him as the 50-year minister of music, Charles Novell, Church of God, Southern Ohio. And those people had no idea that he produced records in the recording studio. And then you had the studio side of people, over 3,000 projects that Dad produced, that those people had no idea he was a school teacher in the Cincinnati public school system. And so I put a different post up each night, and I put the post up about the school and I shared that story with JD. And so Shirley said, hey, I saw your post about the school and I wanted to talk to you about that. And Mom, I thought, you know what? I've missed something and she's going to fact check me and tell me that I typed something wrong. And she said, I want to take you back to that phone call. She said, I was sitting on the couch on Big Daddy, as she called JD.
Yeah.
I was sitting on the couch on that side of the conversation. And I remember, she said, I remember Daddy getting off the phone and he looked at me and said, Shirley, that school is in good hands.
Wow.
And she said, Robbie, when I got done reading your post tonight, because I think, Mom, somewhere at the end of that, I said, you know what? I accept the challenge of moving the school forward. And JD asked him two simple things. He said, Charles, will you keep the school going? Number one. Number two, just make me the promise that you'll keep raising up the next generation of singers, musicians, and songwriters. And dad
Mhm.
said yes to both. So I kind of closed that post out by saying, I assume the role to keep moving my dad's vision forward, but at the same time, I'm gonna honor that promise that dad made to JD. And
Exactly.
she said, Robbie, when I was reading that, as clear as I can still hear my dad tell your dad in 1978, or to tell me, Shirley, that school is in good hands. She said, when I read the end of your post and saw that you're going to be moving things forward, I once again heard my dad say, Shirley, that
Oh,
school is in good hands. And
oh,
yeah, that tore me up because I know the respect that dad had for JD and the love, mom, that dad had for this school. And mom, I was recently told that I only run this school because dad passed away and it was aired to me.
wow.
Yeah, somebody recently recently told me that. Here's the thing. Uh, that's right and it's so wrong all at the same time. Um 2019 was the first year that dad physically couldn't get to the school. And we sat there and I'm looking at you sitting in his chair. We
Mm.
I came to your house and stood in front of him in that chair. And I was kind of emotional. I'm like, Dad, I can't go, I can't do this without you. And he said, Robbie, dry it up, quit your crying. He said, number one, I've raised you your entire life to do this. But number two, and more importantly, the Heavenly Father created you to do this. So just go do it. And so I'm not doing this, mom, because yeah, I'm excited. Let's call it the family business. Yeah, my last name's Novell, but I'm doing this because God called me to do this. And just like he called dad to do this. And just
Yes.
like before dad, he called JD Sumner and he called James Blackwood. And so we're just moving things forward. So, okay, you've had a little bit of time to think. Well, if you could hear dad play one song today, what would that song be?
I think probably Gentle Shepherd.
Okay. All right. Let me see here. I think, Mom, I think we can make that happen. All right. So,
Okay.
let's hang on one second here.
And I think asking me that, I know numbers of songs again that were my favorites, but just the mood that I'm in and the celebration of his birthday today. It's a sweet, but it's a bittersweet. Let me say it like that. Thinking of all the memories are sweet memories, and no one can take those away from us. But the song just matches my mood about him today. It's just such a sweet, gentle song, Gentle Shepherd.
All right, let's listen. Okay. Mom, good choice. I forgot how beautiful that song is and was who as dad played it. So let's talk about something else today. We're honoring dad's birthday, but mom, we now moving forward, we have a birthday and an anniversary to celebrate every August 31st.
Yes,
So
we do.
last year when I woke up on dad's birthday, I thought, man, I need to do something. This would have been my dad's 80th birthday. I need to do something today to honor my dad. And God said, okay, how about, that podcast thing we've been talking about for a couple years? How about you figure that out and make that happen today?
All in one day.
All in one day. So last year on August the 31st, I woke up and started researching. I had to find out what podcasts were, how to do them, how to put content into them, how to record them, we had to find somebody to host them, meaning a company that would push them out every week. And somebody needed to get money from me that day. I had to figure out who was taking my money. I had to do all of this stuff.
And you had to find the money too, didn't you?
I had to find the money too. Had absolutely had to find the money. So went around the house emptying cups and checking everybody's pockets. And by 11:57, Mom, p.m., 11:57, 3 minutes to spare, I pushed forth and forward our very first Charles Novell School of Music podcast 3 minutes before his birthday ended last
Wow.
year. So we
Wow.
we went live with this CNS podcast, and it was easy. Another thing on that list was you got to have a title for a podcast. What are you going to call the podcast? Well, it was easy. Every Tuesday for the last year, we've not missed a Tuesday, Mom. Every single week, and some extra bonus content, kind of like we're doing today, went out. So we ended the year at 56 episodes, close to 3,000 listeners. It's just been a fun way and of getting tips, insight, and information out to people on a weekly basis. Different topics every week, different guests from time to time. We're covering everything from vocal to songwriting to instrumental to business related things to social media and marketing. So we also today are celebrating the 1 year anniversary of. It was easy to name it. What did we end up naming our podcast?
Let me think. Best day yet.
Yep, the best day yet podcast, because for 58 years dad would say that at the end of devotions every morning as we were heading off to class. You thought yesterday was good. Well, guess what? Today's going to be the
The
best
best
day
day
yet.
yet.
And Mom, that's what gets me through this day. That's what gets me through your all's anniversary in September. That's what gets me through January 17th. Every year
Rob, when I
is.
wake up, sometimes when I wake up and I think I don't know if I can make the day, that comes to my mind. No, you
Absolutely.
will, because this is the best day yet.
I look at it this way. For my life, he spent 50 years modeling and exempling and pointing me to where he is today. So for me to miss him is natural in the flesh, but Mom, spiritually, it's easy to say today's the best day yet, because
Absolutely.
he's home, he's healthy, he's whole, and he's waiting for us. And like I said, he's still running this school from the penthouse floor, because Mom, the things
And
are
he's where that he lived his whole life to be. And
absolutely.
that's the reward of all of this, to bring him back. I would love to hug him one more time and just sit down and talk to him one more time. But he's where he lived his whole life and wanted to be. I wouldn't bring him back for the world.
Nope, nope. This is absolutely, we celebrate today. Talking
Absolutely.
talking with Pastor John earlier, he said, "You know what, Robbie?" He said, "You just need to go somewhere today, somewhere that would be special to you and your dad, and just sit there and talk to him." And he said, there is nothing wrong with that. And I had thought of this last night, Mom, and I said, you know what, John, that's confirmation. I tell you, I'll give you one better than that. We will uh I'm gonna call my mom, and we reached out to Gwen, but we can't reach her today. I think they have got a commitment that they're at. So timing wise, we weren't able to get her part of this, but it just makes sense to get together, talk about him a little bit, as we've already heard, hear some music from him. So um, we officially next week on Tuesday, when we release our next podcast, Mom, we start into season 2 of the CNS podcast, The Best Day Yet.
Wow.
Just so super excited as we move forward. This, like I said, next week, this officially ends season 1 of the CNS podcast, The Best Day Yet. Our little birthday celebration to Dad, and just saying happy birthday. We love you. We miss
Yes.
you. But
We celebrate.
we celebrate. Absolutely. We celebrate today that it is just that, the best day yet. We can confidently say that. So I want to play one last song. And again, you helped me with this because I was trying to think of what I wanted to hear. And, not from the angle that I want to hear myself play today, but this is Dad's arrangement. This is his I took 10 of his handwritten arrangements and learned them and put them on this project. And I just think it's fitting that I'm going to make my choice today, his arrangement, if I could help somebody. All right. So
Wow.
let's listen to that. Okay. All right. So, Mom, we're going to wrap this thing up because we've been talking here and don't want this to be super, super lengthy today. But thank you for your time. Thank you for you and Dad always believing in me and helping me. All I've ever known is the school, and the school's given great influence on my life. And it helps me in this season of my life, the call, as I mentioned earlier. Been studying a business concept on what, how, and why. And if you take those principles and apply them into business, or in our case, you apply them into your ministry, you can be successful at what you do. But it has to start backwards. It has to start with the why. People ask us all the time, Mom, how do I get into gospel music? What do I have to do to get into gospel music? The first question is, why do you want to be in gospel music? And it has to start from a call on your life, period.
Absolutely.
So thank you for helping me. You and Dad modeling godly leadership to me and helping me. I don't do what I do now had it not been for you to pointing me in the right direction and Dad modeling. How do you run a music school? Well, it's easy for me. I just lather, rinse, and repeat, right? Like the shampoo bottle says, what was modeled in front of me. So thank you for that.
Well, you're so welcome, Rob. And Daddy is looking down. He passed the baton on to you. He sees you running the race for him. You're continuing his heritage, his lineage, and he's very, very proud of you. And so am I.
Well, thank you, Mama. I love you. And
I love you.
Happy birthday, Dad. We love you. We
yes,
miss you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
All right. I'll talk to you later, Mom. I love you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening to the Charles Novell School of Music podcast, The Best Day Yet. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter under the name the Charles Novell School of Music. And for more information on CNS and our upcoming events, like our online school, our weekend regional sessions, our creative coaching, and our pastor's retreat, you can visit us at our website at www.cnsmusic.com. As you've listened to this episode, we hope that you've gained some information that you can apply to your music and to your ministry to make today the best day yet.